Hi, it's Holly and I'm here with my February wrap-up. I can't believe February is already over. It's been a crazy, hectic month. I actually read 9 books in the month of February, and I only have 2 physical books to show you because a lot of these were library books, so I had to return them, or some ebooks, but I have my trusty little planner here where I keep track of the books I read. So first was an audiobook, and it was Journeys in English by Bill Bryson, and I'm not sure if this is like an actual book as well, but this was like BBC Radio, I think is what it was, production, and I got it on overdrive, and apparently I just talk with my hands all the time. So yeah, I got it on overdrive and I listened to it. It was really quick. It's like only a couple hours, if that. I think each segment is like 30 to 45 minutes long. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was interesting. It kind of feels like it was a TV show, which maybe it was at one point, that then got converted into audio. Entertaining, and it talks about the English language and how it's kind of like developed and where it comes from and all of that. And I do find language pretty fascinating. So I did listen to that and it was good, but it wasn't anything like amazing. And then I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which I got as a library book. I believe I was reading that in my, I had just started in my January wrap-up, and I was like super excited about it. Yeah, I gave it 2 stars. I kind of had to force myself to finish reading it, and I didn't really like it. I wrote a review. I don't think it's very long. That's my problem. I should probably look for reviews on it. I think Haley I think she changed her channel to Haley in Bookland. I think she really likes this. So maybe I'll go watch her review and see if maybe that changes my opinion. But I liked the Alice in Wonderland aspects. I liked that Marissa Meyer was willing to play around with words and just the whole nonsense part of Wonderland, because that's what I personally love about Wonderland and is what I think of when I think of Wonderland, and I feel like you don't see enough of that in retellings or anything like that. But I found the plot very boring, bland, and I didn't like the main character, and not in I hated her, I had no real feelings for her, I guess. I don't care about her in any way. So then I read The Darkest Torment, which is book number who knows what in the Lords of the Underworld series, and this is one of the ones I have not read, or had not read. So I gave it 4 stars. This is Baden's book, so you kind of hear about him a lot throughout the series. I enjoyed it. I honestly don't remember a lot about it. The romance was slower in this one, which I actually really appreciated, because in a lot of these books it's just super fast, super love at first sight kind of thing, which is pretty typical in paranormal, so you kind of have to accept it as a fact. But this one was a little slower, which I appreciate. It was just more naturally developed, I guess is what I mean by slower. So that I enjoyed, but Baden was a little too much caveman-y for me. And then I read Summer Days and Summer Nights, which is an anthology edited by Stephanie Perkins, and this kind of goes along with, I can't remember what it was called. I own it. I'll write the title here, but it's a holiday anthology from a couple years ago that Stephanie Perkins also edited. It has some similar authors and some new authors. It's young adult, and it's a bunch of summer love stories. The cover, adorable. I gave it 3 stars. There were some stories that I thought were really good and some that I thought were pretty weak. And the majority of them kind of just fell flat to me. I liked the Stephanie Perkins one is the same characters that's in the holiday one, so I really enjoyed that. It was kind of we're still with them. In a lot of ways, I kind of want there to be 4 of these anthologies, a summer, a winter, a fall, and a spring, and then have her write one story about these characters in each of them. I would read it just for that. I did get this from the library, which I think I said, and I'm glad I did that. A lot of them felt very insta-lovey and everything, and just really forced, so that I didn't appreciate it. I thought some were a little unhealthy too, which also not good. There was one, I can't remember who it was by or what it was called. Again, I will try and write it here. It's super windy. Sorry if you can hear that. Yes, I will write that story here and the author, and it actually made me want to read his other books. I thought his was the best out of the whole anthology, and it was kind of meta, which I liked. And then I listened to another audiobook, which was Argo, and it was written by a gentleman that was involved in the whole Argo plot, like CIA plot. I've never seen the movie Argo, although it's kind of made me want to see the movie. And the book is about more than just that particular hostage situation in Iran and getting those like 6 hostages out of Iran. It's really like everything leading up to that from his perspective and like the CIA's perspective, kind of like basically all of these other missions that kind of contributed to being able to do that, and then looking at the other people involved in it. I gave it 4 stars. I found it very fascinating. I found it very gripping. I was actually dog sitting when I was listening to this. So Argo is what I would listen to like when I was cleaning or driving. I went for a walk with one of the dogs, so I had it playing on my phone while I was out walking with him and everything. And I would like look for reasons to be in a situation where I could listen to it because I just found it that entertaining. I liked the way the story was told, where it's kind of like the thread throughout it is kind of the hostage crisis and what's going on in Iran and the US, but then he like kind of branches off at moments to talk about older situations and stuff. So I found that very interesting. And then I read As Long As You Love Me by is it Aguirre? I don't know how you say it, which is a new adult novel. It's a 2nd book in a series, but they're companion books. I just really wanted to read something new adult, and I went on Overdrive, and this was really like the only one I had heard of that was available. So I got it, and I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was good. It was a very standard new adult romance. Like, it's told in the first person female perspective, and it doesn't get super deep, especially into the hero for obvious reasons. It's about a girl who returns home after kind of dropping out of college, and she ends up like meeting up with her best friend's brother and then kind of like hooking up with him and dating him, and then them dealing with their relationship issues. Not a bad book, it's just nothing special. Then I read The Darkest Secret, which is book, again, don't know what, in the Lords of the Underworld series, which I gave 4 stars. This is one I had read before, and this is Gideon's story, and he is the keeper of lies. So all of these books are about men, or there's like one woman, but well, whatever, but it's so complicated. People who have demons trapped inside of their body because they let them out of Pandora's box, blah 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 blah. So he has lies, so he can't tell the truth ever. He has to lie about everything, otherwise like it hurts him physically. And this woman shows up, and she also contains a demon, and she says that they're married and he doesn't know who she is and all of this stuff. I can't remember, I gave this 4 stars. I had read this before, pretty sure I said that. And I remember being very excited to get to Gideon's book the first time because I found him very interesting, and I was again, and then I remember being kind of disappointed, and I was a little disappointed. It's still a very solid book. It's a pretty good romance. I like the 2 of them together, Scarlett and Gideon, and I find their story very emotional, which a lot of these, even when there's like high emotional stakes, I don't get super emotionally invested, whereas there's a little, but it's just not as good as I would like it to be. I can't tell you what would make it better. I don't know, but I'm not the author, so, you know. And then I read Ninth Key by Meg Cabot, which is the 2nd in the Mediator books. I believe it was last year I said I was going to reread these, and I only read the first one, so here I am reading number 2. And hopefully in March I will read Reunion. I got Remembrance, which is like the latest book in the series, for birthday / my birthday and Christmas. So I'm kind of motivated, and I gave this 4 stars. It's a young adult novel. It's a very, very quick read. It's about a girl named Suze, or Susie, but I call her Suze. I assume that's what it is. It's S-U-Z-E, so Susanna Simon, and she's a mediator, so she can see ghosts, and she's been able to see ghosts her whole life and talk to them and everything. And then her mom ends up moving her to California with her new husband and his sons, and now she meets like another mediator who thinks she should be more respectful of her mediating abilities. And there's a ghost living in her bedroom, which is an attractive boy, and everything, and it's very funny. It's definitely early 2000s, let me tell you. You can tell it's a little dated, but I'm okay with it. Suze is a pretty good narrator. These books are not perfect in a variety of ways, but I enjoy them, and I am excited to continue reading them. And it's been so long since I read them that I really don't remember a ton of them. And then the last book I read was The Darkest Surrender, which is another Lords of the Underworld book. This one comes after The Darkest Secret. Strider, and his demon is defeat, so he can't lose the challenge, and otherwise it causes him physical pain. And then Kaya, who is a harpy, so she's pretty challenging. And I remember not really liking this, so I was kind of nervous to read it again. But I gave it 4 stars. I actually enjoyed it, so I don't know if I misremembered my original feelings or if my feelings have honestly changed. They're not my favorite couple at all, but I found the book entertaining. I think Kaya's personal growth is very interesting, and I like her relationship with like her sisters and all of that. So those are the 9 books I read this month. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.